My name is Keith Chandler with Chandler Monitoring Systems Incorporated. What I'm going to give you a tour here of is a piece of software that we developed called Intellioptics. The software is meant to incorporate many different types of sensors, whether it be analog or optical sensors or cameras or weather stations or corrosion sensors. We have shown where we can pretty much incorporate any type of sensor regardless of the make. What I'll show you first that will make the system seem a little more understandable is the zones and how they are broke up and where the sensors are located. Here's a PDF of the map of where the sensors are located on the bridge. Here you see a datum point, and I will show you how that datum point is used. There's a combination of accelerometers, temperature sensors, strain sensors, tilts, displacements, and also the camera system and corrosion, and in the weather station. On the second page of the PDF, we list each strain sensor or sensor name, and we indicate where it is located on each one of the spans. And we also give the orientation and what detail is related to, so that engineers understand how the sensors and where the sensors are mounted according to those member callouts. There's also an X, Y, and Z coordinate system. In the datum point that I was showing you on the previous PDF is where these are actually measured from. Now this is a PDF, so you can blow up each one of these areas so you can look at them in better detail. Next, I'll show you the optical sensor overview. It basically shows the bridge as a whole and their various zones. And you can click here on this icon or click up here on this icon, either one. On the optical sensors page, there is 3 buttons, and there's a green, a yellow, and a red. And these bubbles will change according to what level those sensors and what state those sensors are in. In addition to that, as any of these occurrences happen to where you have met some kind of a critical limit, then that information is then saved below here. And the record is kept in case someone comes in, logs into the system, they'll see that these warnings have occurred. And also the system is set up so that it sends emails, text messages, and will call your cell phone should any kind of occurrence happen that that someone needs to pay attention to. When they do log in, then they have a record of what it is that they need to pay attention to also, even after they get the emails. Also, when these bubbles change, whether they change or do not change or stay green, you can click on each one of these bubbles and they will take you to that particular zone. And it just makes an easier way to track, well, where is that sensor coming from? Why is it red? So for the moment, I'm going to click on this bubble to go to that particular zone. And this is zone 1. There again, we have a model of that bridge showing where the various strain sensors are located. In this particular section, there's accelerometers, temperature sensors, and strain sensors. And this is the sensor that is of concern. And you will also see where you have the green dots and you have the purple boxes. These are your upper and lower limits. And when you set the system up, then you give them these upper and lower limits so that the warnings that were to occur can be tracked properly. Also, and I'll go through each one of the zones real quick. This is zone 1. You can go through zone 2. There's 2 tilt sensors and accelerometers. In zone 3, accelerometers, temperature, and strain sensors underneath the bridge in zone 3. Zone 4 shows displacement sensors. 4 displacements, accelerometers, temperature, and strain sensors. There again, you can see the various limits that have changed according to the member that the sensor is mounted on. All of these, by the way, are all optical sensors. In zone 5, then there is 4 additional displacement sensors and 4 tilt sensors along with some accelerometers. Now the one thing that we need to explain is, well, how do you set these? Of course the accelerometers are in G's, but you can go to the Advanced tab and we can key in a password. And once you've logged in, then you can see where each, like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, and the security settings for the security page, which we'll get to in a minute. Report subscriptions is where you would put in your email addresses and set up various saving operations in case any of these warnings are met in your SQL database in a remote location. And to go a little bit further with the SQL is that we also save locally as well as remotely. So as you can see, the different strain and temps and excels as an example, there is various limits, and these are in microstrain. This one's a negative 140, negative 70, 625, and a maximum of 1000. So there are various settings according to what the FEM models or a structural engineer has calculated as to their true yield strengths. So I'll go through and basically show you where each zone has those particular settings. The security zone is where we have secured the hatch doors as well as a mat in front of the equipment, so that if anyone were to try to damage that equipment or be malicious, then also the cameras on the system would train on these locations and capture the individual doing this. This would also happen with the hatch door. So going back to the zones, then these are your upper and lower limits. The green being 2 Gs and negative 2 Gs. Zone 4 is the same way. We have the green and yellow and red areas for the displacement sensor. And you see how these, the green and the rectangle purple, these are your upper and lower limits. And this holds true for each one of the zones. On the settings page, there's the speed of the unit as to how fast the information is being acquired under certain conditions, whether you want to do continuous save or whether you want to be able to do periodic saves. It tells you about the communication, whether everything's working normally. The last time that it saved data, this information is here. Under reports, there you can choose the sensors you want to run a report on, and you can either choose by all the sensors. You can choose each, like each zone here, you could choose all by just clicking the buttons next to each one of them, each one of the types of sensors. But I'm going to clear this so that we don't have a very long report just for the demo purposes. After choosing the sensors that we would like to look at, and I'm just taking this as an example in zone 4. And then once you do that and choose your times, which you can come up here and choose the times in which you want to look at the sensor information, and then you hit View Report. This gives you the sensors that were chosen. It gives you 18 pages and tells you the maximum readings, minimum readings, and the average readings. And a lot of people want to export their files into various types of formats. So you can choose the type of format you would like to use, and then choose export, and it would export that file into that format, and then you can save it into a file in which you would like to save to later review.